this weekend, not only was she rebounded, she hit 2 threes.
The
Don't
long
question
ball.
that perimeter shot.
Okay, she and Kennedy Carter really went to work.
Since I've been watching the NBA, I've seen some crazy stuff, like really crazy stuff from the media. Like the time James Harden played every single game, scoring 29 points and still didn't make the All-NBA team. Or what about the time Damian Lillard got picked as one of the top 75 players of all time, over Dwight Howard, a 3-time Defensive Player of the Year and a champion? I mean, it's totally nuts, right? But then, when I thought things couldn't get any worse, ESPN dropped a tweet on August 29th, right before the WNBA playoffs started, and here's what it said. Which rookie is going to be Rookie of the Year? Now, no offense to Reese's fans, but that's just disrespectful. And, to make things even worse, they really put Angirl Reese ahead of Caitlin Clark. Now, it's clear to me that ESPN hasn't been watching the same game we've all been watching. And if you're wondering why I said that, let me tell you a story of the day Caitlin Clark totally owned Angel Reese.
The Marina Mabry trade, and she has stepped up her game in that opportunity. Caitlin Clark for 3.
You see, Angel Reese has been going after Caitlin Clark for a while now. First, she did that whole John Cena thing and pointed at her ring after the NCAA championship. Then, in the WNBA, she smacked Caitlin on the head and celebrated like nothing happened. And remember that All-Star Weekend practice? She made a 3-pointer right after Caitlin missed one and celebrated with everyone except Caitlin.
Caitlin. Oh. Angel. Yo. Okay, Angel.
Let's call it what it is. She's being passive-aggressive towards Caitlin. It's clear she has a problem with her. But when the cameras are on, she acts like there's no beef. She says she doesn't hate Caitlin and that they're just rivals.
I love Caitlin. I mean, we were just talking about that. Me and her have always been competing each other since we were in high school and just AAU days. I mean, I love that. And hopefully one day we can even be teammates and just understand that she's a great player, a great person, a great shooter, and I just love everything that she's doing.
So, on August 30th, under the hot Chicago sun, it was time for these two to face off again. This wasn't just any regular game. People had been comparing them all season to see who would win Rookie of the Year. And this was the first ever Barbie-themed game, hosted by the Chicago Sky. Angel Reese, who's called Bayou Barbie in college and now Chi-Town Barbie in Chicago, was totally fitting for this pink-filled arena. And this was their last chance to play against each other as rookies. In college, Angel was winning, but in the WNBA, Caitlin was catching up. This game was Caitlin's chance to get ahead, 3-1. But Angel was confident she'd win. She even dressed up like Dennis Rodman and was posing before the game started. Caitlin. Yeah, she was all business. From the second she stepped into the Wintrust Arena, you could tell she was there to play. It was like she knew the whole world was watching. Shaq was even there, sitting courtside, soaking it all in.
Special night, an electric crowd here in Wintrust Arena. What does it mean to witness up close the recent explosion of women's basketball?
Well, I love it, especially for women. Listen, they've always played great. They've always played hard. I'm glad they're getting the exposure they definitely deserve. Now we just got to get them similar contracts than what some of these NBA guys are.
But let me tell you, Caitlin came out swinging.
Has really taken upon her shoulders to be more aggressive offensively to the Marina Mabry trade, and she has stepped up her game in that opportunity. Caitlin Clark for 3.
But the Skies were on fire. They were making 3-pointers left and right. And at one point, the score was 21-9. It looked like the Sky was going to blow the Fever out of the water. I bet Angel Reese was thinking, oh no, here we go again. But Caitlin Clark was all business. And guess what? The Sky's hot shooting started to cool off. The Fever started making a comeback, with Caitlin leading the way. Angel Reese was left in the dust. That big 21, 9 lead disappeared. And when the first quarter ended, it was only 26-23.
Advice, recently being the first WNBA player that has recorded consecutive 20-plus point rebound games.
I saw that online. Look, she plays hard. I like the way she plays. I love her. I love the way Caitlin Clark is playing the game right now.
Caitlin knew the Fever needed to catch up, so so she started the second quarter with a bang, draining a three-pointer from way beyond the arc to bring the score even closer.
Fagbenle working it around here for the Fever. Good ball movement on this possession. Logo shot! Logo make for Clark!
Caitlin was absolutely bringing the heat, making crazy shot after crazy shot. She was even messing around with the crowd, asking if her shots were good. Meanwhile, Reese was really struggling. You'll see why I said that ESPN's tweet about who's the best rookie was totally disrespectful. Trust me, things only get worse for Reese and way better for Caitlin. I bet Sue Bird, who was sitting right there, would agree.
Yeah, Lisa, as you said, it is Barbie night. Limitless possibility is a theme.
As the third quarter started, it was like the sky was trying to stop Caitlin. They started using some really weird tactics, like this one.
Underneath the basket, the Shields and Clark.
Or this one, where they even denied her a safe landing spot.
From Minnesota to use that ball screen to create a shot for herself.
Clark with the step back and gets fouled.
Angel Reese, on the other hand, was being guarded on the three-point line, as if she were Giannis. Unfortunately for Reese, she lacked Giannis's other qualities. The Fever punished her around the rim, and when she tried to attack, she failed miserably.
It's 18. Brianna Turner getting set to check in. Reese with her 7 points, trying to cross over Fagbenle, and Fagbenle.
Like I said before, this game was all about Caitlin's amazing play and Reese's disappointing performance. By the end of the third quarter, Caitlin had 23 points and 9 assists, while Reese only had 5 points and 7 rebounds. The score was 78-64, and the Indiana Fever were looking really good. I mean, they've been one of the top teams in the WNBA since mid-June, so not much surprise there.
Let Indiana get out on a break, and you can't let Kelsey.
Only 13 points in the loss. Now she goes in the paint, rolls it over the front of the rim.
Court has been the best in the WNBA here out of the break, and nobody defends it better than Minnesota. There's Mitchell, head full of steam, little scoop shots.
Then came the fourth quarter, and Caitlin Clark was amazing again. As for Reese and the Chicago Sky, they looked like a bunch of sore losers. Let me show you exactly what I mean. First of all, when it comes to pure basketball, Caitlin was absolutely dazzling.
Being here is really hurting Chicago tonight.
Kennedy a guard, but so effective in the paint. And Boston now is hole in the corner. She's got the...
I mean, she was amazing at everything. Shooting, passing, you name it. There was nothing the other team could do to stop her. The game got so out of hand, we were up by 25 points. Caitlin was even shooting half-court shots for fun. The Chicago Sky were getting really frustrated and started taking some cheap shots. For example, watch this play where Diamond D Shields ran into Caitlin.
Here's Clark. Her 29 points gets tripped up. The Fever in the Chicago Sky here from Wintrust Arena. The Fever really stretched out this one in the second half as we look at Diamond DeShields and Caitlin Clark. And Diamond with...
At first, it looked like an accident, and like she was even trying to help Caitlin up. But when you look at it from another angle, you can see she was actually complaining to the ref, saying it wasn't a foul. It was so ridiculous that even Ducci Bigelow, the comedian Rob Schneider, weighed in and said,
in the second half, as we look at Diamond DeShields and Caitlin Clark. In Trust Arena, the Fever really stretched out this one.
For real, man, something's gotta give. I mean, after that whole incident, we got this shocking stat. 17% of all those super dirty fouls in the WNBA have been against Caitlin Clark, and the Chicago Sky's Angel Reese's team is behind 80% of them. See what I'm saying about Angel having it in for Clark? Anyway, not long after that mess, Caitlin Clark finished the game with 31 points and 12 assists, waved goodbye to the crowd, and walked off the court.
Clark, the third 30-point game of the season, and an enemy territory gets this kind of salute as she exits the game.
And this is where things got really funny for the crowd, but super embarrassing for Angel Reese. With just a few minutes left, Caitlin was having a great time with her teammates on the bench. But do you know what Angel Reese was doing? Yeah, with her team already losing by a bunch, she was still out there trying to get a few more points and rebounds. Why? To get a double-double. It was so funny. I mean, Caitlin was literally laughing and having fun, while Angel was still out there trying to get her stats up. It was hilarious.
The kid, Liberty, got the Aces sprinkled in.
I mean, they have beaten Seattle, they've beaten Connecticut, they've beaten Phoenix during this.
To add insult to injury, she didn't just miss this free throw, but the next 3 free throws. And let me tell you, the internet went wild with all kinds of funny stuff. Now, if you're wondering about the actual stats after the game, I watched the whole thing again and took a close look at the play-by-play. Caitlin Clark left the game with a little over 3 minutes left in the 4th quarter, and her team was up by a lot. After that, Angel Reese scored a few baskets, hit a free throw, and grabbed a couple of rebounds. But here's the thing. If she hadn't played those last few minutes, her stats would have been way lower. She only scored 5 points and grabbed 9 rebounds if you take out the garbage time. That's a big difference. I mean, after all the trash talk, the headshot, and cheering on her teammate after the scuffle. You'd think she would drop one top player performance, but instead, Caitlin completely dominated on her home court, while having fun with the crowd. This was Caitlin Clark's way of showing everyone who's boss.
WNBA star rookie Angel Reese will sit out the rest of the season after suffering a wrist injury during a game on Friday night.
So, what's next for both players after this showdown? Well, bad news for Angel Reese fans, as she's officially out for the season with a wrist injury. On the other hand, Caitlin Clark is still on fire. Since the break, she's averaging a crazy 24 points, 9 assists, and 5 rebounds per game. Shooting lights out too. Remember that Indiana Fever team that finished dead last? Well, guess what? They're in the playoffs now, and a big reason is Clark. She's playing like a top-tier player, maybe even top 5. Of course, she's not Aja Wilson, the MVP frontrunner, but who would have thought she'd be this good so fast? Look, the debate about Rookie of the Year should be over. Remember how some people were talking about Angel Reese being a contender? Yeah, not anymore. Clark keeps upping her game and nobody can seem to slow her down. Teams are throwing defenses at her, but she just keeps scoring, assisting, and rebounding. She's the engine driving the Fever, and playoffs ain't gonna be easy for whoever has to face them. Do any of you still believe Angel Reese should be in the rookie race? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and while you're at it, don't forget to like this video and hit that subscribe button.